Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I got the key to a 2024 Hyundai Kona N line. Big courtesy of Hyundai Gyro for giving me this vehicle. The link to the current inventory is in the description below, and check out my contact bill. If you want to get your hands on a Hyundai like this, hit him up, say you watched the video, and he will give you a nice little referral and hold on to the vehicle for you if you actually plan on buying one. But back to the video. 2024 Hyundai Kona N line. Some quick specs: 1.6 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder, pushing 190 horsepower and 195 pound-feet of torque to all 4 tires, with an 8-speed automatic transmission, which has paddle shifters right behind the steering wheel, making it arguably the sportiest Hyundai Kona that you can ever spec out, no matter what you're looking at. But let's talk about the quick little exterior of this car. Comparing it to the previous generation of the Hyundai Kona, you notice that this one has an RoboCop headlights. I'm talking about the huge bar that runs in front. There we go, making it look more aggressive, more sporty, and at the same time very, very futuristic. The thing about this one is that the grille looks so massive from a distance. It looks super sporty. We have N-line badging all around the vehicle, and this one is a little bit more subtle compared to other Hyundais when it comes to badging and logoing, because other ones will have some kind of Morse code on the steering wheel telling you that this is a Hyundai, which I will show you in a second. But beautiful 17-inch rims all around, and another RoboCop tail light going in the back as well, which also lights up as well. Very, very nice. But hopping into the trunk space, we have a backup camera up here, but decent amount of trunk space back here. You got a speaker back here, a light in case you're working in pitch dark conditions, some storage down here with the tire mobility kits in case you end up in a sticky situation and the spare tire this is where it will go. But since this is a demo vehicle, the spare tire has been taken out just to show the full range of space you could have. This one does not have an automatic tailgate. You kind of have to pull it down, which makes me feel like a peasant, but again, it's a sports car, so I don't expect the highest level of, what's the word, luxury per se. But hopping inside, Alcantara seats all around that are very, very nice to the touch. Cup holders are over here, very simple, like no intricate, no crazy design, just open and close to get your hands on your cup holders. Hopping in, decent amount of leg room, also decent amount of headroom as well, so I gotta almost jump up, touch the roof, which is pretty nice. A little bit of storage down here with your 2 Type-C USB ports, and if we hop to the door, we got some padded leather all around. Aluminum door handle, which is very, very simple, like very, very minimalistic design almost. Like nothing that jumps up and screams in front of you when you hop into the back seat. You just see a simple, basic back seat, and for this kind of car, I don't mind. Also, speaker down here as well. Now hopping to the front. Again, more padded leather all around, more aluminum door trims or door handles, textured plastic all around with your speaker all the way down here, and a checkered flag because again, this is a Hyundai Kona N line, which is the sportiest version of the Kona you can get your hands on. So of course I gotta make it look a little bit more racy. Oh yeah, and also automatic seats, so you don't have to be a peasant and pull to move a seat around. Hopping inside, put your key down here, foot on the brake. Very, very simple controls. Looking at the seat, you can see that N line is stitched into the seat, which is actually very nice. More Alcantara with a red ribbon coming down here. It would have been nice if the seat belts were also red and there were like a little bit more red hints all around. But you know what, I can't be too angry. This is just, it's a Kona, but it's sporty at the same time. More Alcantara and red stitching going all around. You got our 2 cup holders over here that you can push and pull to put them inside, and then just like that. Heated and ventilated seats. You can choose our drive mode selector. As you can see, if we're going to sport mode, we get a checkered flag, or a checkered line to be exact. Climate controls are down here, which all have their own independent buttons, which is very, very nice. You don't have to go through like multiple touch screens. 12.3 inches of screen with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, very, very responsive and very, very quick. Also, another 12.3 inches for your digital gauge cluster, which unfortunately is not touchscreen because that wouldn't make sense, but you control it through the buttons on the steering wheel right here. Very simple stuff. Also, fake looking speaker over here, because at first I thought it was a speaker, but it actually isn't. It just looks like a piece of cloth that has been integrated into this part. Nothing really jumps out to me in this stage of the review because nothing crazy is happening yet. But our 2 paddle shifters down here, and we also have boop 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 our backup camera. They got a front view, I got a back view, I got a 3D view as well, which does show you everything around you. And if you open the door, let's say on the driver's side, you can kind of see that the 3D gets warped a little bit because it's trying to figure out what is happening, which is still expected. I would expect that to happen. But put the car in drive because our prindle is down here. Looking at our logo, Morse code for the letter N, and we have N line logoing over here. Red stitching going around the entire steering wheel with nice firm grasping handles, so that it's, if you want to really push this car, you probably can. And comparing it to the base model Hyundai Kona, it's not a fair comparison because this is like the top of the line versus base model. So it gets a little bit of an extra power bump and a little bit more kick and flair to it. But since this is the sporty one, you can see our bird's eye view and our 3D model accurately representing what our car is doing, which is very, very neat. But let us go for a quick little test drive. Alright, so we're back in the 2024 Hyundai Kona, provided to us by Hyundai Gyro, with my good man Bill as the one leading this quick little review. But let's talk about the way this car lights up a little bit in the dark at least. Like, there's no ambient lighting. Kind of wish there was in this car, but there's really no point in a sports car having ambient lighting. It just kind of adds a little bit of luxury that doesn't really need to be there. So actually, I take that back. I'm glad this car doesn't have ambient lighting because it doesn't really need any ambient lighting. But let's talk about how this ride quality of this car feels compared to the base model Kona, because I'm going to be using that as a frame of reference. This one's quicker, 100%, like little light acceleration. Acceleration in this thing is quick, but this thing will wipe the base model on the floor when it comes to acceleration, so that's a point for this one at least. Ride quality as well, even though this one's gonna be slightly more sporty than this one, the insulation is much more better, like significantly better, like night and day kind of better. Because I remember when I drive the base model, because I have access to the older, well, not the older, but I have access to the base model version of this car, the noise seeps through a little bit more compared to this one. This one's way more well insulated and also very planted to the road if you decide to go more dynamic driving as well too. And something the base model lacks is paddle shifters, which I am a big fan of. I love my paddle shifters. And the thing about this one is that the brakes are really, really good. So if you're really feeling like pushing this thing to the limits, you 100% can. And it's not like a slouch either. It's a competent vehicle when it comes to doing stuff like that. And the exhaust notes make it pretty satisfying when you're pushing this car to see what it can and can't do. And the suspension is pretty stiff. Taking corners is absolutely no problem for this thing. It kind of excels at doing everything the base model can, but with all the benefits that the base model has. So if you say, oh, but the base model is going to be more eco-friendly, I would argue this one is going to be more eco-friendly with the turbo, so the engine doesn't have to strain itself as hard as the base model does, at least. And it comes to acceleration and quality and ride quality, this one takes the cake as well too. And with the newer models, with having this kind of new blind spot monitoring feature, that takes some time to get used to, because the thing is, I have blind spot monitoring over here and I also have blind spot monitoring over there. So it's like a best of both worlds kind of situation. And the thing I also love about this one is that you can red line it when you're in full park. So let us pull over real quick, and I'll let you guys hear the engine notes if you decide to redline this thing. So hush, let's turn off our AC. It feels like it has a soft limiter, but it doesn't sound like it's just getting neutered all around. Let's do another quick acceleration, because even though this thing's not the quickest thing, it's very, very addictive to just drive it. And the engine is not afraid to let itself sing too. That's the nice thing. Very nice handling. Like I said before, you can take a pretty sharp corner in a car like this. It's very, very forgiving. And since it doesn't have those crazy high horsepower numbers, it's not just gonna snap back or have the back end kick out. So if you want an entry-level sports car that would not penalize you if you're a noob at driving, 100% get the Kona N line, the 2024 variant at least too, because you get the space, you get the power, and you get all the added safety features that Hyundai is always implementing in their cars as well too. And the thing about this one is, if you forget to shift, for example, the car will shift for you, so that you can't redline this car into oblivion. Even if you forget to shift, it will shift no matter what you try to do. But it's subtle about it. It will let you bang the red line limiter just a little bit, and then it will shift, or let you approach it, to say the very least. But let us do a quick horn test real quick. It slightly reminds me of the Ioniq 6, actually. Slightly. They're not carbon copies of the same thing, but they are surprisingly very, very similar. But let us do a quick point turn and get out of here. Backup camera keeps in clutch, so making it super, super easy to drive around. Back into drive. And see, you can see the people and the dog, so it's very, very neat. And of course it has cruise control, adaptive cruise control as well, which unfortunately we didn't get the chance to test out because just the area I'm in, we can't go way too quick to get the point where we can use cruise control, but it is very, very reactive. Okay, actually I lied, you can use cruise control. And let's turn on our lane keep assist. Well, you can't see where the lane is, but there. As you can see, our cruise control is on. I'm just helping to guide the car, because seeing lanes is a little bit tricky, but it slows down by itself. But you gotta keep your hand on the steering wheel, because it will try to keep going. Sees the stop sign, come to a complete stop. But every time you step on the brakes, you cancel cruise control. That's pretty much unanimous for every vehicle out there. But this has been the 2024 Hyundai Kona N line. It's been a pleasure, guys. Take care and peace. Oh, very, very peppy car. Take care, guys. Peace.